Did you know that your jaw and your neck are connected to each other and feed off of what the other area can do? In this video, we're going to explore potential tightness in the underneath muscles here that connect from your jaw down into what's called your hyoid bone. It's a little U-shaped bone that floats here kind of in your upper throat area. So what we're going to do for this test is you're going to first keep your mouth closed and we're going to go into cervical extension. So it's going to look like this. All right, now what we're going to do is once we get into that extended posture and position, we're going to open our mouth and see if we get more range. If when we go to open our mouth, we get increased range of motion, this is indicating that there's potential tightness in this area here that is limiting your ability to extend through that upper cervical area. This can affect not only the cervical spine, but also maybe make you move more excessively from the lower cervical spine, and it can affect how your jaw is positioned as well. So if we think about muscles here called your suprahyoid muscles, if they are tight and pulled down, then they need to be able to, in theory, lengthen to be able to extend and shorten back here. If they're tight and pulled down and can't lengthen, when that mouth is closed, we're going to be limited to being able to extend there. By opening your mouth, that takes the limitation out of the picture, and then you just open and move from your jaw to be able to get that extra range of motion. So what a positive test would look like would be something like this. Being able to extend further with that mouth open. So now we're going to do a very gentle release to help improve that cervical range of motion. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just gently pull down on this hyoid bone that's just kind of below that jaw and there. Okay, so it's kind of above, where like an Adam's apple would be, just being very gentle. We don't want any pain or discomfort. Then we're going to go up into extension. We're getting that then stretch there. To further help this, you're going to kind of think about protracting your jaw forward. We can think about how if that jaw is pulled back, that's going to shorten that tissue there. So it would look like this. Making sure there's no pain or discomfort there and just easing into it. We can also hold that position and gently tilt your head side to side. So it would look like this. And feeling if there are areas that are more, or direction that's more limited and hanging out there for a little bit longer. You can also hum or swallow in that position to get a little bit of mobility kind of from the inside out. Now afterwards, we want to recheck our range of motion and see if that release made a change. So we would again go here with that mouth closed, go ahead and extend up, and then retest opening that jaw. And if that release helped and that was a potential culprit for limiting that neck extension, then you wouldn't have that big change in range of motion and would achieve the same range of motion with mouth closed versus mouth open. Now this is just one area to look at. This is just a gentle stretch. You maybe need to get in there and get a little bit of soft tissue stuff. We can also think too about why is that jaw pulled back to begin with? Okay, do we fall into a shallow breathing pattern? Does our tongue rest on the bottom of our mouth versus being up in the top? So even tongue stretches can help release that jaw and neck. Do we need to look at shoulder blade movement and rib cage movement to affect how that is positioning our head and neck on the rest of our body? So again, this is just one area to look at for the connection between jaw and how the neck is moving. Conversely, we could look at neck, especially that upper cervical area, to help unload the jaw, but then we need to look at the rest of the kinetic chain and see what is contributing to that area being cranky.